Tēnā tātou. Ko te paki pūmeka nei, hei kaupapa I waihangatia e Webs rāua ko BNZ, hei kaupapa kōrero mo te kohinga toi a te pēki o Aotearoa. Ko ia nei ko te kohinga toi a te pēki o Aotearoa. Ki katoa tēnei kohinga toi I ngā toi a ngā tōhunga tā whakāhua rongonui rau atu I Aotearoa. Pēnei ia Colin McCann, a Rita Angus, a Evelyn Page, rātou ko Gordon Walters. I whakaemitia ngā toi nei I roto I ngā tau ko 1980. Ko te whakātu I te huhua me te topanga a ngā toi a tātai I roto I Aotearoa, te kaupapa matua I taua wā. The Bank of New Zealand Art Collection is a cultural treasure trove. It holds works by many of the nation's leading artists, including Colin McCann, Rita Angus, Evelyn Page and Gordon Walters. Assembled in the heady days of the early and mid-1980s, the collection captures an illuminating cross-section of New Zealand visual art of the time.
Yes, the collection is not only paintings in the traditional sense. In fact, it is very broad. Paintings, print works, pottery.
The BNZ Art Collection is really one of the most sophisticated corporate collections this country's ever seen. It was put together at a time when corporate collecting was a bit of a thing. There were a number of large corporations that were building art collections. But BNZ is really distinguished by the attention to detail that they put into building their collection.
What's really interesting about the collection is that it really is a snapshot of who we were as New Zealanders at that time.
What was interesting about seeing the collection in situ was realising that it wasn't an investment collection, it was a furnishing collection, and Peter McLeavy had put together this collection so that people who worked in the BNZ and clients at the BNZ would be exposed to art. And it was interesting seeing the work installed in offices as well as public spaces. And you realise that he was trying to test out people's sympathy and engagement for contemporary art.
This is a collection that sits between public and private, although it is a corporate collection and it's been held as a private collection. There's been a generosity of spirit with the BNZ to share the works with the public.
How does BNZ share its collection with people that don't work for the bank?
The BNZ collection is not just for BNZ. It's for the citizens of Wellington, and indeed it's for our nation. It is not just a BNZ feature. It is for anybody and everybody that wishes to take the trouble to have a look.
It's my very great pleasure to take people on a tour of the Bank of New Zealand collection, and it enabled me to take people around the collection in the private banking chamber, and it was a real revelation for people to see what was there because the standard of the work was just so remarkable, all of them like public gallery pieces, and yet here they were all together in one room, cheek by jowl, just amazing masterpieces, all of them.
This period, before the economic shock that followed the October 1987 stock market crash, was a time of affluence. With private and corporate collectors enjoying their wealth and engaging in acquiring New Zealand art, the art scene rapidly developed. Dealer galleries proliferated, artists prospered, and collections bloomed. The Bank of New Zealand was at the forefront of private collecting at the time, building one of the largest and most esteemed corporate collections in the country. The depth and breadth of the collection and the quality of the work it contains have ensured that it has retained artistic significance and cultural mana in the decades since it was compiled. The BNZ Art Collection was assembled under the stewardship of distinguished art dealer Peter McLeavy. It has impressive breadth, encompassing photography, printmaking, painting and sculpture. These works are bound together by key threads which appear throughout the collection. A keen interest in the New Zealand landscape is reflected in works by Leo Benseman, Tos Wollaston, Brent Wong and Lawrence Aberhart. The international language of abstraction is spoken by Gretchen Albrecht, Milan Merkosic and Stephen Banbury. Feminist considerations can be found in the 1980s photography by artists such as Megan Jenkinson and Fiona Partington. echoing the representation of pioneering women artists such as Lois White and Adele Younghusband. These threads were woven into the fabric of the 1980s New Zealand art scene, and today mark the key concerns of New Zealand artists working in the mid to late 20th century.